Welcome back to Arena Football Statement. It has been an exciting few days in Champions Indoor Football, and it only looks to get better. Today I have a special guest who will be joining me to answer some questions, and you will all be better for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you This Week in the CIF, Week 4. Let's start by reviewing some games from Week 3. We'll start in Rapid City, South Dakota, where the Topeka Tropics came to play their third in-league game, giving the Marshals their first in-league game. My prediction was absolutely dreadful. The defense showed up for the Marshals, and they get their first in-league win, 47-25. Rapid City improves to 1-0. Topeka falls to 0-3 on the season. Next up is the Battle of the Bad Guys, where gunslinging was happening all night. Whether you play for Sioux Falls or Sioux City, Lorenzo Brown and Brandon Shepard showed up, making the Sioux City Bandits look like an early favorite to win the championship. Bandits 57, Outlaws 44. Sioux City tied at the top of the standings at 2-0, while the Outlaws fall to 0-1. In Ralston, Nebraska, my prediction of the Ponies getting slaughtered at the slaughterhouse became true. But it was way worse of a slaughter than I imagined, as Andrew Jackson had all day to throw and threw touchdowns to wide open receivers. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. An 82-34 beatdown victory for the Beef. The home crowd loves seeing that many points. The Beef are now 2-1 on the season, while Wyoming falls to 0-2. Rematch in Gillette this week. In Salina, the Arlington Longhorns magically turned into the Queen City Insane Asylum, who suffered a fate similar. I predicted Salina would win their matchup 50-22, but it appears I suck, because I had the opponents off by 4 points. Perhaps I'll have a better career commentating water polo. Salina sits at 2-0 entering Week 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a very special guest, an offensive lineman from the Salina Liberty. His name is Casey Pierce. Casey, welcome to the show.
All right, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you hopping on. Look, you come from quite a team wearing the stars and the stripes. How did you actually make the team?
So I was actually approached by Coach O'Neill sometime around August, September time. And I actually originally from Pennsylvania, and he had gotten film on me and saw me playing in the AAL against the Charlotte Thunder. And he reached out to me, and we began communications through me and my agent with Grind to Shine Athletics. He said, "Listen, we'd love to bring you in, see what you're all about." Ended up coming into camp. It was a really tough and competitive camp. You know, we have some really good defensive linemen. So I really kind of had to make that transitional period from being a semi-pro, borderline pro lineman to make that jump to the pro level, which that first day of camp, I can't lie, I was nervous. Everything, you know, it just felt like I was messing up and everything like that. But in the end, what Coach O really does well, in my opinion, as well as the rest of the coaching staff, they bring out the best in you. They're going to coach you hard, but they bring out the best in you and the best in the team and put you in situations to succeed. They're going to show you how to do everything. But at the end of the day, I think the reason why I made this team is, one, I'm really, really mean. I don't like taking crap from anyone. But when I get on the football field, I get into just like this zone, not necessarily of aggression, like I want to hurt you, but just this zone of, okay, it's you versus me. Let's go after it. I think my football intelligence, as well as my ability to get along with my teammates and hold myself in a professional manner, getting along great with the coaching staff. Obviously, if the coaching staff didn't like me, but I was on the team, you know, that'll probably make things difficult. But overall, I would say those things definitely helped how I vibe with the team, and overall my work ethic and everything else, because Coach wants guys that are able to buy into what we're preaching. But at the same time, you have to be able to work your tail off. You know, there is no slacking around. There are no days off.
You basically went from the Penn Union to the Salina Liberty. You sound like a patriotic fella.
Well, I have had some family members that have served in the military and stuff like that. And like I said, having come from Pennsylvania, I've had some relatives that have served in the Army and stuff like that. So it was actually really cool to be able to come to the Liberty. Stars and Stripes, I mean, you can't go wrong with that in the uniform. I think it looks really clean and professional, but it allows you to do so many different color combinations. I know some of my skill position buddies absolutely love that. And even us linemen, we like to swag ourselves out too. So
Good to hear. Okay, well, let's get into a little bit of what's coming up for you guys. Now, you're 2-0. Salina has been to the Champions Bowl in consecutive years. Both of those, the Liberty have lost, but could have won on the final play of the game. The team has had some bad beef with the beef. What's the mentality of the team heading to Montana on what is considered another powerhouse team?
I think the mentality of the team is just understanding that we're going to have adversity. Whether it was Tracy Brooks, our star running back, breaking his arm during the Omaha game, whether it's been injuries, suspensions, any of that stuff, we have to understand that adversity is going to happen. And it's a lot like life. And that's the big message that Coach O and the coaching staff have been preaching to us, but also our captains like Kelvin McCoy, Tyree Adams. A lot of those guys have really been preaching to us like, hey, adversity is going to happen. And adversity happened in those championship games. But it's a matter of realizing like, hey, you can't fold during that moment. You have to rise up to that moment. So with us heading up to Billings, Montana, it's going to be another really big challenge for us. We're going to go into a hostile environment. It's going to be a long road trip up there. And we know that we're going to be down. We know that there are going to be things placed against us. But that's what I feel is different about this Liberty team is that we fight, we adapt, we continue moving forward, and we don't let little mistakes get to us. If things happen, we have to understand like, hey, this is life. It's going to happen. And I feel like with the group of guys that we have and the team that we have, we can overcome that adversity and stay together not only as a unit, but as an organization. And that starts from our ownership, the whole way to our coaches, our equipment manager guys. It really feels not only like a family, but an organization that is capable of handling that adversity, moving forward and giving it the best effort we got. And that's all that you can do in football is give everything that you have and let the dice fall where they may.
For skinny guys like myself, what is it like playing on the offensive line?
With you being a skinny guy or trying to be in my shoes?
Well, let me just put it this way. If Billings called me tomorrow and said they really need me on the D-line, I'm a $160 of pure love. I may be small, but I'm slippery. How do you plan to stop me?
So if you're a small and a slippery guy and I have to go up with someone as intimidating as you, I just got to be patient. I got to see what you're going to be able to do. I got to follow my technique. I'll put it to you this way. If you come into the zone, understand that I have to block you. But for me, the main thing is just being patient, understanding what my job is. And if you come into a certain area, I got to put you in the dirt. That's the way that I try to approach everything.
You really think you could, Casey? You think you could get your hands on me?
I don't know. The smaller guys, they're a little tough, man. I mean, if you got the speed, I mean, they're definitely tougher. I'll give you that. So it would definitely, and if you're slippery too, I mean, some of those D linemen, they like to wear sleeves and stuff so they can get, not have me grab a hold of them. So I don't know. I have gone eel fishing before. That's a fun fact. I've gone eel fishing before. So if you're slippery like an eel, I don't know, it'll be a little tough.
Good answer. I'm not going to be playing defensive line anytime soon. Trust me. Okay. Okay. So last question I have for you, sir, is how do you guys plan to secure a road victory without your head coach to stay atop the standings this week?
I think the biggest thing for us is playing our game. I think, establishing the run game is going to be big because that's what we like to do. We like to run the ball. When that adversity does come up, like with Coach O not being there, or, if a penalty happens, or if we don't get the yardage that we want, not getting discouraged, because, football is a series of battles. You have 4 quarters. You're going to win some and you're going to lose some. Obviously, you want to win everything. But the main thing is making sure that you win more than you lose. Doing what we do best, not trying to, overcomplicate things, sticking to Liberty football and what Coach O preaches. I think that that's going to not only help us put the best product forward, but it's going to be a really good game going up against a really tough defensive line as well as a tough opponent in general in Billings. But I think moving forward, us making sure that we stay together as a group and keep moving forward, making sure our pass protection is solid, making sure we're following our assignments, I think that's going to be the key for us to improve to 3-0 this week.
That's really awesome. But it seems like you've got a pretty good head on your shoulders, a pretty good game plan going forward. Now, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Casey Pierce. He's on the offensive line of the Salina Liberty. He makes part of his living pushing around big fellas. Casey, thanks for jumping on the show, and good luck in Billings this weekend.
Hey, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Special thanks to my guest for coming on here and answering some questions. Let's move on to other previews and predictions this week. Let's start with what I will call the battle of the weatherman? The meteorologist matchup? What do you call it when teams are named after types of weather? You know what, Dirty Dookie, just stick to football. We have the Southwest Kansas Storm traveling up to Topeka to take on the Tropics. The Storm at 1-1, Tropics at 0-3. I think that this will be the closest game of the week, and somehow Topeka squeaks out a nail-biter victory by 2 points. Then again, of course, I said that last week, and they lost by 22. So we'll see what happens this time. Rematch, baby! The Ponies and Bulls are at it again, this time in Gillette, Wyoming. Cedric Walker has had time to work with this defense, so perhaps the Mustangs have some fight in them this time. Omaha is the defending champions, and Wyoming is still trying to find their identity. Coach Jones may not be there for the beef, but there are plenty of Joneses on the team. Omaha by 18. Next, we have the red-hot 2-0 Bandits traveling to take on the 1-0 Marshalls in Rapid City. It's going to be a great showdown of the undefeated. You know what? To get the juices flowing for this one, I might just go watch Tombstone and watch Wyatt Earp and his boys gunsling in action against Johnny Ringo and his red sashes.
No! Don't shoot! I got no gun! Please! Don't shoot me! I got no gun!
In the end, it looks like the Bandits are the team to beat, and that Wyatt Earp's Marshalls might get victimized in a bloodbath, which would explain their red turf. Bandits by 12 in a defensive slugfest. And last, but best, we have the 2-0 Salina Liberty traveling to Billings, Montana to face the 0-1 Outlaws. Charles McCollum, Claude Davis, and this ragtag team of pistol-packing hombres don't care for the citizens' liberty. This could be a defensive slugfest too, but the Outlaws have fighters' turf, destroyers' end zones, and the Liberty are without their fearless leader to guide them through hard times. I think the Outlaws win by 8 in front of their home crowd. All non-league games are now over in the CIF, and things are only going to intensify from here. So my suggestion is get your tickets and go attend a game and bring some friends, because here's one thing that you should know. This sport offers the best value for your buck in the entire entertainment industry. But if for whatever reason, some of you cannot make it to a game in person, you can watch all of the CIF games this week on the CIF Network app. And it's gonna be amazing as these teams go head to head with some pure, unadulterated, smash mouth football. And that is my arena football statement.